Hello and welcome to Tech Latest by Nikkei Asia, where we bring you the freshest updates from the technology sector in Asia. Every episode, one of our reporters from the region will be filling us in on the tech news on their radar, from semiconductors in China to space travel in Japan to startups in Indonesia. From Nikkei Asia's Tokyo headquarters, I'm Alice French. In this episode, my colleague Jada Nagumo is talking to Kenji Kawase, our chief business news correspondent who's based in Hong Kong, about how PC maker HP is diversifying its production beyond China.
Hi, Kenji. Thank you for hopping on the podcast today.
Hi, Jada.
So this week we ran a scoop regarding PC maker HP's plans to diversify its supply chain. Can you give us a quick rundown?
Yeah, sure. It's another scoop by our Taipei reporters, Cheng Tingfang and Lolly Li. They broke a story on HP working with their suppliers to shift part of its PC production from China to Thailand and Mexico. And as you may know, HP is the second largest PC maker by volume in the world, only after China's Lenovo. And their PC production is highly concentrated in the southwestern Chinese city of Chongqing. And according to multiple sources that Annie and Lolly talked to, some of the commercial notebook computer production will be going to Mexico, while some of the consumer laptop production will be going to Thailand.
I see. And the shift in production is, I'm guessing, related once again to this sort of decoupling from China, right?
Yes. So, of course, HP is not leaving China. And the HP themselves made that clear in their emailed response to us, to Nikkei, saying that, I'll open quote, China is a very important part of our global supply chain, and we remain deeply committed to our operations in Chongqing, end quote. And indeed, the initial shift of production for the first year, for instance, it only involves a couple of million to 5 million units. Well, it sounds a lot, but that's only about 3.6% to 9% out of 55.2 million PCs shipped worldwide last year by HP, according to the data by Canalys. However, it's small in terms of percentage. We believe this is a very substantial first step to diversify its PC supply chain beyond China for the top US computer manufacturer. But also, at the same time, we have to remember that China is no longer a place for cheap labor anymore. So diversifying production for HP also makes sense from a cost point of view as well.
And HP isn't the only one in the industry making similar moves. For example, Dell.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. HP's move follows their American peers. For instance, as you mentioned, Dell and also Apple. Like Dell, they will be making at least 20% of all its laptops in Vietnam this year. And with regard to components, it is planning to completely walk away from made in China chips by the end of 2024. As for Apple, they will begin to assemble MacBooks in Vietnam this year. And it's the first time for their laptops to be made outside China.
A complete shift away from made in China chips seems very difficult, but we are seeing similar moves in the industry. I did want to ask one question. Why has HP chosen to shift production to Thailand and Mexico in particular? What sort of reasons are there?
As for Mexico, it is close to their main market, which is the United States. So it kind of makes sense that if they're able to sort of shift away from China to Mexico, it's closer to their main market. As for Thailand, Thailand already has a number of PC suppliers, which makes it really easy for HP to just move in. And if you look at it from Thailand's perspective, bringing in HP is another boost in making themselves more competitive in this competition for tech supply chain vis-a-vis China. Well, but at the same time, how HP has been so deeply rooted in Chongqing Chongqing has been their laptop hub since 2008. So they've been there for 15 years already. So it's not easy for them to simply pull out.
I see. And it seems like Southeast Asia, as you mentioned, Thailand, are even more attractive options for computer makers and other tech players in the industry. Thanks, Kenji. Are there any other stories you would like to recommend to our readers this week?
Yeah, there's another supply chain story this week. It's from Japan. Toshiba is trying to build a supply chain for offshore wind turbines at home in Japan by collaborating with General Electric, who they partner with in this business. This is, of course, no match to shifting PC production, as the scale is a lot smaller. But this is about rebuilding an industrial base back in Japan for the newly emerging renewable energy. Well, in terms of this offshore wind turbines, already the Europeans and the Chinese virtually dominate the global supply at this point. And you remember, in the case of solar panel, another important renewable energy market, that's already been dictated by Chinese players. And therefore, again, the Japanese government is behind this effort of onshoring offshore wind turbines. The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, or METI, they've already established this public-private council in order to facilitate the installation of 30 to 45 gigawatts of offshore wind power facilities by 2040, where they want 60% of those investment in this turbine production or related construction to be coming from Japanese operators.
Thank you so much, Kenji, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thanks very much to Jada and Kenji. That's all for this episode, but you can read more of Kenji's reporting, along with a host of other stories about Asia's tech industry, on Nikkei Asia's website, asia.nikkei.com. And if you like what you hear, why not subscribe to our weekly Tech Asia newsletter, which will be delivered to your inbox every Thursday. There's a link to sign up in the show notes. And check back in next time for more updates on the tech trends that matter.